Okay, so this is the note that will introduce two-point perspective. I just posted the same note about one-point perspective in the grade 9 website. If anyone needs to backtrack a bit, just a reminder, it's the same address as you guys, just replace the 10 with the 9. Okay, so just going back to review a little bit. So when we did 1 point, again, you don't need to write this down, I'm just reminding you, the steps were always start with the front of the object. Step number 2 was go to the X. Step number 3 was cut off the sides. Whatever you do at the front, you do at the back. Whatever you do at the front, you do at the back. So what that view was is this. It's when you are looking straight at the front of something. Okay, the difference is two-point perspective is this view. You're not looking at the flat side of something, you're looking at the corner of something. So the steps aren't going to change. What's going to change is instead of looking at a square or a rectangle, basically, now the thing that you're looking at is this line right here. So this is what two-point perspective looks like. So step number 1 will be drawing the line, which represents the corner. Okay, so then let's start going, so I'll put the X's. So instead of 1x, right, now you need 2. So you're going to do 2 point. Okay, and now we can kind of just keep going through the same steps we did before. I'm just going to freehand them for the note. So what did we do? You go from the corner to the X, and from the corner to the X. I'm going to call this A, and I'm going to call this one B, just to make it a little easier. Okay, so now what do? Same thing. I'm going from here to this one and to this one, right? So step number 1, draw the line. Step number 2, go to the X, go to the X. Step number 3, cut off the sides. Whatever you do with the front is at the back. So I'm gonna do this, and now we're just doing it for 2 sides. I'm going to do this. And then the last one, this one's trickier, I'm going to use a straight edge to do that, is we're just continuing going from the corners to the X. So from this corner, and again, you can see, well, I can't go straight up and down. I can't go this way. Oh, I've got to be going that way. Right? And then the same with this. Well, I can't go this way. I can't, oh, okay, yeah, it's this one. So it's the idea of you only have a couple of choices. So, of course, because we put the X's below what we were drawing, we are now seeing the underside. So this is the worm's eye view. Okay, so let's do it again. So let's do the bird's eye view. So again, when we are looking at drawing something from above, the X's need to go above. So let's do this. Well, you can just use those same X's here. I'll just redraw them. All right, so step number 1, draw your corner. Step number 2, go to the X. So we're gonna go from the bottom of the line to our X, and from the top of the line to the X. Okay, same thing, I'm going to go from the bottom to that. So remember, you guys, the point in 2 point is right here. It's where the middle of the X is. We just use X's because points get lost really fast when you start drawing. Okay, so step number 1, draw the vertical line. Step number 2, go to the X, says. Step number 3, cut off the sides. So if the front goes straight up and down, the back goes straight up and down. Right. And then now we need just to complete it. So again, we're going to this, think of them as being parallel walls. If this wall was going to that X, well then that wall has to go back here too. And then same thing, if this wall is going to the A, well then that wall has to do it because they're parallel. And again, we are seeing the top of it. La 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 la. So this is our bird's eye view. And the last view is the human view. So we're going to again start with your vertical line. And remember that when we're doing a human view, it means the X's are beside what we draw. So again, I'm going to put one here, put one here. Just a reminder, you guys, you want to try to keep those X's as far away from the thing you're drawing as you can, because stuff can get pretty messed up when you get close to those X's. So again, I'm going to go from the top of the line and the bottom of the line. Top of the line, bottom of the line. And then the next step is just cut off your sides. And in this case, that's all you could do because you can't see the top, you can't see the bottom, and this is the human eye view. So just like when we did 1-point perspective, no matter how complicated your stuff gets, you're just doing those same steps over and over again. So just a reminder, let's write down the steps. So number 1 is to draw the corner of the object. Which most of the time is just going to be a vertical line if you're drawing cubes. Step number 2, go to the X. So you need to go to A and to B. Step number 3, cut off the sides. And remember, the back is the same as the front. Okay, so that's just the introductory note for now. So what I'm going to do is I will start with a series of drawings. We'll draw, I don't know, some buildings and some towers on exteriors and interiors. Remember, all this will be practice of the skills before you actually start doing the project. I will be having you hand these in. I kind of would rather we just wait until everyone starts sending me photos of things right away. So I will tell you when I want them handed in.